And we start with a reference to Clockwork Orange, and then follow that up with a Star Wars reference. Yeah, those are two of the canned lines the London Templars say.
That's quite the 1,000 yards there.
I like Richard Sonic.
Yeah.
You did everything you could have done.
He's not like berating us for, taking our time. He's like, yeah, that sucked, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I won't feign disappointment. You were as noble as the situation was.
He's very polite, but he's also realistic.
I would have cushioned you better for the vertiginous letdown.
That makes what happens when we go to South Africa even weirder. Like, we don't give him a ring when it happens. We just, like, fuck off out of cell phone range. And it's like, you could have given him a ring, dude.
Just
like, text, at least.
It must be dealt with quickly and absolutely. That's our cue.
Look, if you're going to do a breakup, at least give it over the phone.
You saw that pretender Beaumont hold a weapon that once united.
Oh, by the way, new microphone, so we shouldn't have that clicking noise.
Which is wonderful to hear.
What a difference conviction makes. The sword was Excalibur. It belongs in a museum. With some roadside diner Lolita who
I like he also has a classical education, so he knows about the story Lolita.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Lolita, as horrible and as creepy rather, a novel as it is, isn't exactly, the Iliad.
That's true.
That reminds me, Detective Inspector Shelley will be needing our assistance. Don't keep her waiting too long. It might wear on her sunny disposition.
Granted, people still really read the Iliad in classrooms. I had to read the Odyssey in high school. Man, there's no...
I took a special course that was offered my first semester of college, and it was the Iliad and PTSD. And we read the Iliad and we examined it for... It wasn't the Iliad and PTSD, it was like PTSD and literature. And we read part of the Iliad, and we discussed Achilles' behavior through the context of PTSD.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose for PTSD, I'd definitely do the Odyssey. But the Iliad is... Yeah, the Iliad is really about some really fucked up people.
They're Greek. They're classical ancient Greeks. They're all fucked up.
I mean, yes.
I don't think there's a normal one in the whole goddamn bunch.
No, like the closest is Odysseus, and he's a huge asshole. He's just like, or maybe I don't know, maybe Diomedes, but like.
Well, you can't say you said Diomedes, and just reminded me of Warhammer 40k RPG RTS's Captain Diomedes. They put their all in that vomit graphic right there.
Yep. Beautiful, exquisite.
Mint. Terrible habit.
There's a point where you get to see the case of mints, and it just says pick pack.
Yeah.
Ritual murders are tough on the digestive system, but it is part of the job. Part of this assignment. It's tough and it takes some getting used to. Not everyone does, so they keep having to send me fresh meat. You'd think they'd do a more thorough job with this psych evaluation.
Oh god. Burnout's a real thing for police officers, but imagine how bad it must be for, like, agents of the conspiracies.
God.
I mean, talk about PTSD, Jesus.
Yeah, that's it, especially since a lot of that shit really can follow you home.
Oh yeah.
That is God. Like,
permanent mental scar might be fucking literal.
Yeah. Well, the upside is maybe this would be really, really treacherous. There may be ways to use magic to get the other way around and to treat it.
Oh, I assume there are, but I also assume that those magic ways are adaptations of torture techniques.
Quite likely, or drugs, and not like modern psychiatric drugs, but like fantasy.
Do some ayahuasca.
Yeah, just taking a lot of supercharged fantasy opium and just hoping that works. long enough to hold you together.
But I kind of fuck up the puzzle in here for a couple seconds, so. But essentially, this is the mission that tells us, hey, Egypt, something going on there.
Brody.
Luckily, this poor fellow left audio logs behind in typical game fashion. Now I'm trying to find where the new room is. It's over here. So yeah, he left a couple audio logs behind.
Beautiful.
The stars are talking to me. I don't sleep anymore. When I slip into dreaming, I hear them. They whisper.
Yeah, you get the genericness of this part is kind of depressing.
The mirror is hungry for blood, for flesh.
Flesh?
Oh God, help me! I can't stop myself. I want to do everything it's asking me to do.
I don't think that's a British.
What accent is?
Yeah, that's.
What accent is this?
I think New Zealand.
This is Nick Lamb.
It's the
I'm
flesh.
recording this as a reference for those who come after me for future research. I retrieved an item from a crate.
Actually, I think the accent is imitation British.
It whispered to me. It's an Egyptian mirror in the shape of Anka. Very old.
Excuse me, it's in Anka? Not Anka. It's
Anka.
It requires an indefinite article.
But most incredibly,
The symbol of Aten's really big. It's one of those things that's kind of complex and doesn't really fit well on on like a little mirror. It's a real thing, but it's like it's a sun and a bunch of like a dozen rays, each with defined hands on them.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of it, because, spoiler alert, Aten is the bad guy here.
It was insatiable. It wanted more. And then the window opened and the darkness came.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that actually is some form of music.
Thing inside me. It's multiplying. Like worms squirming in my
Oh god, that must feel terrible.
Yeah.
I have to trap it.
God, years and years and years ago, I saw a movie that had a scene of a bug crawling under a guy's flesh with it like unrealistically well defined against it. And that's just what I'm thinking right now. It's like
Do you mean the
containment
original
or
Matrix?
what?
That happened in the original Matrix movie.
No. This was some kind of like parody comedy or sci-fi horror thing.
Right, so I fuck up here because I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just kind of randomly snuff candles for a couple seconds before actually looking it up. But it's all in the thing. So I go back to look at the thing, but you could only look at it once. Now it's in your journal. So I don't think to look at the journal. So I have to go back and take a look. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's in the journal now. Let me go all the way back up. And just stare at this for a couple minutes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying.
What you're missing is me manually counting the dots to figure out which is 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at this, I think, wouldn't this be like how to activate it? So, would it just, it sounds
Don't look
like
at me.
looking
I don't write
these
ancient
puzzles.
grimoires.
Yeah, okay, fair. Like, look, man, these things, I have both keys of Solomon saved in my hard drive. They are not actually that interesting. They are not as interesting as that is to look at. They're just a bunch of words, and the occasional.
I have both I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially published Simon Necronomicon, and I have both the officially and a book, and a fictional book called Necronomicon, which is like purports to be the original,
Mm-hmm.
and is full of fake magic spells, but also Abdul Hazard's personal journeys throughout Arabia.
Oh, hey, that guy.
It's actually pretty good. And now we're going to meet a character you only ever see if you wander around and talk to everybody.
Is it good news? What am I saying? It's never good news.
And I highly recommend you literally just play Templar just to meet him, like, once.
Oh, is
Like,
this?
this game is free. This game is free. Go download this game, make a Templar, get through the intro, and just talk to this dude,
I
because
think
he's fascinating.
is this the guy I think he is? Yeah, I think he. No, actually, is he the puppet guy?
The puppet guy? No. You only meet the puppet guy once, I think.
No, I think he just
No.
hangs around, just doesn't do anything.
No, we're about to meet an anthropologist.
Aren't you a little short to be in the
Yeah,
And
like,
there's the Star Wars reference.
look, you're involved with European nobility. Like, short people is not the weirdest genetic abnormality you run into. Is that what phases you? Oh, this guy. Yes, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some really good people hanging out in the hub, especially in London.
Oh, it's worrying. Shocking. But
He absolutely is.
You are
I
indeed
don't know if
very
it's
unexpected.
intentional, but he is absolutely patterned after Alan
trafficking in
Moore.
occult.
Look at the beard.
Yeah.
Paraphernalia is all
That is Alan Moore's beard.
King Solomon had a famous collection, and I'm told Xerxes was a keen hobbyist in his prime.
That's not all we hear about Xerxes.
He was a man with a sizable body of work.
And here are the Horny
Glimpses
Twins.
of ancient erotica.
First edition?
I'm sorry. Are we interrupting?
The black market.
I don't know where you get Templar kimonos or whatever those are.
Powerful items in the world
I think those are just
very
dresses.
Old, very old, unfathomably
Okay.
old,
It's like
and equally priceless.
this guy. He has so
That
much.
wealth began around the time of the Phoenicians.
He has
The
so much
Heritage
dialogue.
in itself an
It's
interesting
like if you
story.
dig through it, you find him
The
talking about
Phoenicians were
founding
cleft from the bosom
an
of the
apocalyptic
Templars.
cult in
The
France.
brothers were at the head of
And
all
if you
the
look that up,
organization
that cult
until
is real.
suddenly
Exactly when he said it
parted ways.
showed
A
up,
woman.
and
It's usually about a woman.
there's
How
a lot of wild
exotic.
shit in there.
How droll. Always a bum rap.
Oh yeah,
One
yeah.
founded the
He's
Brotherhood of
he's
the Ancient
fascinating.
Sailors,
Like he lives the sort of life I wish I lived.
Phoenicians
Well, okay, right now I'm not sure he does.
So,
I don't
it
think
could
he
be
can leave the library.
that this
Yeah, his backstory is he was a wandering researcher, and eventually the Templars literally fucking kidnapped him and brought him back here and have him under house arrest because he knows so much and they don't want them losing everything he knows.
Yeah, and hey, and he at least gets access to a colossal library. Horn.
Mhm. And he's bringing up a point that we'll hear talked about. The Phoenicians are smuggling artifacts that they aren't supposed to be smuggling. The Phoenicians knew the rules, and they broke them.
We could all use a stiff drink.
And we'll
after
learn
that.
more about that and how that relates to the incident in Tokyo that started this whole thing when we're in Egypt.
That's right there. That's funny. It's like London has a bunch of interesting NPCs. Like, even around where the puppet guy is in the park, there are some interesting people that you can talk to. I think you actually have to talk to them for a later mission too. And
One
like
of
a
them
fire
is a witch,
starter?
and the other thinks he's Sir Galahad.
Yes, those people.
Heaven forbid.
Like Sir Galahad lives in a castle made of boxes.
Yeah.
Heavy with power.
It's great.
Stop me.
Like the world building in this is fucking phenomenal.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said Two vast
Mary
and
Shelley's
of
Ulysses.
stone stand in the desert.
Yeah, it's
Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose
But it's thematically relevant, because guess what?
Yeah.
Cold command.
We are going to. I think that is the actual emperor who promoted the Aten Sun cult.
Nope.
No,
Actually,
really,
it's different.
sorry,
That's Ramses.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
2 weeks
But,
ago, I received
I-
the poem Ozymandias
what was
on
the name?
back of an unsent
Um,
postcard from Cairo.
It was
It
Ramses is an
always
Egyptian
has
name.
been a war
Ozymandias is the
concerning
Greek version
gods and god kings thought left to the
of
shadow of
Akhenaten. The
history,
Greeks didn't know about
or
Akhenaten.
through
The
romantic
Egyptians
poetry.
erased him from history best they
In an
could.
entirely unsurprising coincidence,
And we're about to
we
find
have
out
been
why in
petitioned
this
by the
Yeah.
Council of Venice
series
to
of missions.
respond
Yeah.
on a matter in Upper Egypt. A great evil is rising in the sands. That's actually what was written. A great evil. Clearly, this requires our particular.
This reminds me of
The
a
council
thread
are
I saw
ineffectual,
on
but
the
they
traditional
take their
games board of
peacekeeping
4chan,
responsibilities
where it
seriously.
was the
Death,
great evil
seriously.
rises,
The other
but it
societies
rises so
will
late that what was
eventually
once
be
considered
forced
a
to
great evil is
respond.
now considered
We
normal.
should lead
Yeah.
by example.
Yeah.
So, like,
This
I will
is
cast
one
down
of
the
the
kings and
cases
bring about a
such
new
as
system
that.
of ruling by the
Let's see
people.
to it that
Oh, we already
Yeah,
do
we already
that.
did,
You,
right?
wait, what?
Back in the old days, I remember I was on TG, like 4chan TG was how I got into tabletop games, and that
Oh yeah, I still go there. I mean, if you can
I've
ignore the
yeah
4chan of it.
I've stopped because it's 4chan, and the good parts of 4chan mode they weren't always like they were never like predominant, and now they're almost good. But back in the day, I remember helping set up a fantasy setting in like 16th century France. Was in the Eternal Train, or the like. I'm pretty sure if you have you seen Infinity Train?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's actually
No,
based.
no, I've heard of it. I've heard of
Yeah,
it.
I'm pretty sure that's based on this thread, on this ancient TG thread, because it really, really specifically, like a decade before the show was produced, laid out those concepts in over the course of this thread. Like it used to be very creative. Let's such.
Well, I was part of the Lenore threads, if you remember those.
No, I don't think so. When was this?
Lenore was about 2015, 2016.
No, that was after my time.
It was essentially what if everyone in 4chan is transported in waves to an alien planet.
Yeah.
And it turned into a bunch of role play, and I made like a fake character, then we role played on the boards, and it's all saved in the TG archive, sub TG.
Which
That's where
is
you
run
should go
by
if you want anything decent. Anything decent that comes
Yeah.
off of TG gets saved in the archive.
Which is in that the archive, by the way, is run by Goon Forum stalwart Purple 16.
It is.
So he's been a very diligent archivist and a very active participant in the traditional games area, and I think he's LPing Might and Magic or something right now. So he does a lot of good stuff. He does a lot of bit.
Yeah, but I if you remember Lenore, I was the rifleman because I was, yeah, it was really dumb and cringeworthy, but I enjoyed it.
Are you bringing us reinforcements today? We could use reinforcements. We have already lost the outskirts
I
of
mean,
Almaraya.
we
The town
are
itself
a
cannot
bee.
be allowed to fall. This is why we are here.
We're a bee. We're literally a
We
fucking
are
one-man army.
Yeah.
Young warriors of an old land. The Black Land. A land of old religions. Old enemies. Ask the desert what it remembers. It is merely an expression.
Boss, these plans.
I know. I know it is different from the stories. When the stories were written, no one had machine guns. Egypt's strength is its people. Time and time again, when their voices are silenced, they raise up their fists. The cult of Aten.
Yeah,
they fear the people.
There it is.
So this game was initially published in 2012, which is, I think, about when there was an uprising in Egypt that did topple the dictator. I think that was about when it was happening.
That was the Arab Spring. I think it was later, but around.
This is his homeland. They are preparing it for his return. We fight, but every day there are more.
She has a great line in the next mission she gives me. I'll point it out when it happens.
This started as a guerrilla war, but now it is open.
The one downside to this area is that there is a shitload of platforming.
So, fun fact. Will you be opening up the map in this update?
Yes.
I'll wait to talk about this until you get there, though I doubt it'll come up. But,
Oh, how you mean how the map is supposedly from the Napoleonic era?
Well, I mean, no, actually, but that is cool. I just want this so I can talk about the difference between Upper and Lower Egypt.
Oh.
I don't know if the Nile's
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, because I don't think that comes up in the map.
Yeah, I doubt it shows up. So, long story short, there's two parts of Egypt, traditional. There's the Upper Nile, which is the Nile River, and Upper Egypt. There's Lower Egypt, which is the Nile Delta. And the Nile Delta is just a little part of Egypt compared to the massive Nile. And if anything, at least it was, slightly more populated than the Upper Nile, just because it was so much more fertile. Like, if you can look at the Nile from satellite view and for several miles around it, it's just like floodplains, and green, and then desert. So saying that this is in Upper Egypt means that somewhere it is away at the very least from the Nile Delta, and it's somewhere like in the center, probably the central part of modern Egypt, because once modern Egypt extends into what used to be called Nubia too. Not that that means all that much, but it's not that anybody really cares about that distinction anymore.
Oh, you can always find some crazy person who cares.
I mean, yeah, but who even knows how old?
No one important cares is the thing you should be saying.
Fair enough.
There is always some crank who cares, who is a Nubian supremacist.
Yeah. Yeah. Just left.
We live forever and ever. There is no end.
Yeah, most of this map is fighting these guys.
Mm-hmm. Just a lot of culture.
And also Brain Guy from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
They're just dudes, but they're magic.
I raise my arms up. I praise your holy appearance.
Yeah.
This has one of my favorite characters in it. I forget his name, but he's like constantly quoting action movies. He's just like a big Hollywood fan.
Yeah.
Just like some Egyptian dude who's like a really big fan of terrible action movies.
Well, who can blame him?
Festivity in the streets, in the desert. Come, join us.
Just thinking of, like, the sonnet Ozymandias, written by Percy Bysshe Shelley, who is now completely forgotten because his wife Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. And usually when it comes to husband and wife artists, it's the other way around. So at least there's that.
Well, it also has to do with we're really not into the romantic poetry of that type anymore.
I mean, dude,
Like
he did make it. Ozymandias did make it into Watchmen. He's hardly forgot.
Ozymandias is a famous poem, but I think it's probably the only poem anyone knows of his.
Fair enough. I mean, like, and the stuff he wrote is really political, but it's like 19th century political, so it doesn't really apply anymore.
I don't know, with the way Britain's going, it might apply soon.
Who even knows?
So I said in a previous video I was doing a Cat in the Hat LP. I might not do that. Like I'm trying to find a game that someone has not done, which is also interesting enough to sustain commentary. Like these are very freeform commentaries we do because sometimes there's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
This is like a podcast LP. Like we occasionally talk about what's going on screen.
Yeah.
But I kind of want an LP that isn't like that, but I need the right game, and a lot of games have already been done multiple times.
Now you're just gonna have me sitting and thinking and wondering if I should tap out my Steam page.
Like I have an interesting game, but the problem with that game, it's called Broken Reality, and it's the most vaporwave game ever made. But the problem is, it doesn't have good cut points. Like if I did an episode per level, it would be like 2 or 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise it doesn't have good cut points. I mean, it's a great game. It's just not very LPable.
Yeah.
Because I already get few enough views on these, and these are pretty long. Like,
God, I'm gonna be chunking way on that back of my head for a while.
I welcome it. Like, I know you don't have time to do more than one LP, but I mean, like this is a long period commitment.
There's probably Tales games, like Tales of games, because there's several that are just haven't been covered. Like I don't think Tales of Symphonia is up there on the archive.
Oh, I'm not a JRPG guy.
I'm not even sure Tales counts as a JRPG. It's kind of a series of action games with RPG elements. But
I could do that as long as it's not like Dark Souls hard. I can't do Dark Souls.
Oh my no, it's not Dark Souls. And I've never actually I've watched LPs of it, and it's like it's got like JRPG horror mechanics, like how you set up a character, but the combat is an action game. It's like in a little.
I was thinking about doing an LP of Zork Nemesis, which is a game I fucking love, and all the LPs of it are screenshots, so it would be a video LP of an adventure game, and I think that would be nice.
That would be. It strikes me as awkward to pull off, just given the amount of text. Like.
Oh no, there's not a lot of text, and all of it has voiceover.
Oh, never mind that.
Yeah, everything text in that has voiceover. I seem to remember.
Oh.
Zork Nemesis, they went hard on production values. It's the odd one out of the Zork franchise, because Zork is funny. It's funny, it's tongue-in-cheek, and then Zork Nemesis comes out, and it's, except for references to regular Zork, it's completely fucking serious, dark game.
Just, what, it's produced in the 90s or early aughts.
Late 90s.
Yep, thought so.
It's got a lot of FMV.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds like the archetypical late 90s evolution to an established franchise.
I mean, I like FMV. FMV gives you this aesthetic that's really good, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with because of compression and just production quality.
Yeah.
Like, they did a bunch of new FMV games. There's been a trend to do new FMV games. The guys who did Myst did, like, Abduction. And there was that other... Yeah, oh, by the way, the Filth is also here.
Oh, of
Anyway,
course.
there's
Yeah,
that other... There's that other... What was that FMV game a couple years ago where you were like a detective and it was all investigation stuff? Like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was very popular. It was British. Damn, that's gonna bug me.
Was it a Sherlock Holmes thing?
No.
Right.
No,
You
it was
must fight
completely
back.
independent
I'll
IP.
be there, I promise.
I remember the guys on Giant Bomb doing a playthrough of it. Yeah, it doesn't tell you, but you have to use action on that guy and give him the business card or whatever. Like,
I remember.
this area is so fucking confusing to navigate, and you gotta do a bunch of platforming for some of the quests. It's just a handful.
I remember there's like you have to use slash commands here for various things, and that is so alien. I'm a person who plays MMO single player. The idea of using slash greet or slash die or no, just has to be. I have to look it up in a guide because it would never work.
Oh yeah, I have that same problem. Like, I enjoy that they do things like that. Like, they use the... Like, there's a part in Tokyo where you navigate the security field of a bank on the instructions of this insane uh occult Yakuza guy. And he tells you to, like, oh, moonwalk backwards through the lasers. What? And you do, and it works.
Yeah, that I mean, once I'd have that.
There's an achievement in this room. You see that box over there?
Yeah.
If you eat that package of expired dates and survive for, I think it's 5 minutes, you get an achievement.
Oh, good.
I've never managed it.
That is so specific.
I know, it's just a weird achievement. Oh god, and I'm gonna have to fucking do the investigation missions here, and they are a pain in the ass. God, next video would just be this entire fucking town. It's gonna be hell. Because there's like 2 investigation missions in the same area, and I fucking hate the investigation mission. Okay, coming up is one of my favorite statements I've heard in a video game.
I will be forward with you. There is a traitor in Almaraya, here, seething in these very streets as we speak. This snake feeds information to the cultists. I am to blame. I was too trusting. I should never have relied on anyone but Maria.
I can hear it coming out of you.
Forgive my anger. You have done good things for us. One of Cairo's trade princes is among us. I think they sent opportunity for profit on the desert wind. We arranged a bartering in secret. As much as I dislike secrets. But the Atanas knew. They knew. Our snake was watching us, even then. But perhaps it has shed some of its scales. A trail that a patient hunter could follow. Be wary. It could be anyone. I can't understand. Does our history mean nothing? Does their freedom mean nothing? The trade prince.
Oh, here it
I
is.
spoke to him of this. He told me, if I truly want to understand humanity, I need only read the comments.
Yeah.
I hate the internet.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
I
But
think
really,
there was like a Chrome plugin that turned all YouTube comments into excerpts from Nietzsche.
that sounds beautiful. Like, I mean, yeah. The internet is so
The internet is abused and abusive.
Yeah. Look, the internet is an example of how abuse does not justify abusing others. Like being abused does not justify abusing others. I'll put it that way. Yeah, do we actually meet said desert prince this time?
No, we will meet them eventually. But I love that faction because
Yeah, they're pretty.
they're all mummies.
They're all mummies.
They're all literally the undead. They're unwrapped mummies, just like walking around and indulging in debauchery.
Yeah, they're all, the mummy mafia.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Okay, I tried to do this without getting seen, but I think I get seen at one point because I don't think I got the achievement.
Remember this.
Yeah, the camera registers as bad, but you can't shoot it. Because I suppose that would make the thing, the mission too easy. So what I have to do is just sort of jump. Yeah, there's the mummy guy. Also, by the way, we literally just called a guy out of this house.
That was the friendly one, right?
Yeah. Dude, I need to get into your house, and it's. Do you know how you get past these lasers?
How? You just walk through.
No. The lasers kill you if you walk through because they're attached to like dynamite. No, what you do is you exploit the glitch and you activate the security control through the wall.
Really? Is that like?
Yes, that's literally what I just did. The activation radius is bigger than the.
Do they have a like? Is there an actual solution?
I don't know.
Yeah,
the guide I looked up said just do that.
Yes. Who knows? Like miming breaking the window, just getting at it.
And it turns out the guy in there was evil.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we accidentally recruited an evil guy for them.
Wonderful.
And now to get that evil guy, we have to find him. He's on top of the roof here. So we need to get up on that building. Like I said, a bunch of platforming.
Not obvious.
So I say, okay, I'll just... And then I just fucking get murdered by these 4 level 50 guys.
They're just, yeah.
Like, I guess there's some sort of sneaky way to do this, but I get up here and I die immediately because they're still chasing me.
The Templar zeal is of no consequence. We will show you the meaning of true faith.
Of course, since I can't die, I just ghost. I can jump. You move faster and jump higher as a ghost. So I just go to where my body is and resurrect.
So yeah, whatever works.
That would be a great way for a bee to infiltrate someplace. Is you just kill them and you ship their body there.
And just have them sit around, follow the corpse. Do you
Oh,
take your
yeah.
phone with you when you die? Is that just to give you something? Well,
I have no idea.
that is
You,
find
you take a ghost version of your phone.
yeah, you ghost or net. But yeah, finding a way, having I would not put it past this game to have specifically have a mission where you figure out how to make it so that after you die, you can use your phone while you're a ghost.
I wish.
Yeah, it would
wish
be
they'd
great.
done more with the bee aspect of things.
Yeah.
The Templar zeal is of no consequence. We will show you the meaning of true faith.
And now I flee the scene. Run away! And that's it. That's the first Egypt video.
There we go. We will see you and do more Egypt in
Next
a little
time.
while.